or is it, no, he's a congressman.
Mm-hmm.
Like a Crenshaw, he's a populist. So what you're going to start to see is that until we get away from this establishment and these people who have been in government and continue to leech off of us, is you're going to start to see these bigger populist movements, and you're going to see them throughout. Like, guarantee the next biggest populist movement in the Democratic Party is definitely going to be Tulsi Gabbard. She's going to be the next biggest populist movement, I would say.
Ooh, look at Tiff,
yeah. Because you know what?
we are going longer today, guys. Please. My producer, like I said, I'm on assignment today. My producer's in the studio. Is it okay that we go a little longer? Because I know, because this is some juiciness.
As long as everybody is okay,
You know,
I'm okay with it. If Murray is okay with it, if you guys are okay with it, I don't mind. Just remember, I have posts to take care of.
Yes, thank you, Donnell. So, because so let's talk about that for a second. Prior to Obama, or maybe within, and I want to go back to what Tiff, please hold your thought. The Tea Party seemed like it was going in this thing too. So
yes,
Tiff,
it did.
Continue.
So with the Tea Party did seem like it was, because it was a very grassroots movement. But then what wound up happening is that throughout this grassroots movement, you had establishment then take it over. And that's pretty much why, like, the Tea Party pretty much sank, is that once these grassrooters got in there, then you had a big red wave of these establishment people who came over and took over this movement, and then the movement just died. So, these establishment people are scared of, these populists, because these populists are easily know how to use technology better than half of these people do. They know how to get their message out there better than most of these people do. And that's the issue that they have. Because, like, when you have these people, like look at like as much as I would say, like Hillary Clinton, perfect example, Hillary Clinton, like she wasn't able to drum up as much support as she thought she would, because she was still using a lot of old tactics and a lot of old techniques that these establishment people use, where they're just focusing on the television ads, where they're just focusing on just doing a rally here and there. But with populists, like if you look at all these populists, like Bernie Sanders, like, I don't even like the guy, but I can say what he did when he took over the internet, spreading his message on over the internet, doing lives on the internet to get people to get initial feedback back in, instantly. And that's what shows is that these people have huge supports, but it's just that, again, their movements get snuffed out by this establishment. And the more people start to realize, like, and they're looking at what the establishment does, like, the more that they can see that these people don't have their well-being at hand in general. I mean, if you look at Bernie Sanders should have won the 2016 primaries against Hillary Clinton. But what happened, though? You had these establishment people who were just like, well, we don't want you, so our super delegates are going to Hillary Clinton, even though she lost the state. So, and that's why I think the best way for us to bridge is having, and I say this, and some people laugh at me because they're like, oh, it's never going to happen. But I'm like, you never know. Is having people run for presidency together who are from different parties. So if you have two populists like a Crenshaw and a Gabbard, or a Sanders and a Trump, let's just say, like, it do more to bring us together, because these are two people who the establishment in general has like blackballed within the community of politics because of the
Got you.
I
see what you're saying. So now that, and I want to. It's so much. Oh, my Siri is talking to me. If moving, it looks like Biden is going to be the president. It looks like. Okay. Now, for someone like Biden, how do we move forward?
Honestly, you have to get replaced. I think his whole thing, because I think the disenfranchise of the the people who support Trump and the populist movement has been so fractured, because it's just another establishment person coming in. You know what I mean? So I don't think I think one, he's totally disconnected in a bunch of issues that he's talking about that then furthers the disenfranchisement. Like South Dakota. So I'm just using South Dakota as an example. South Dakota has probably one of the lowest COVID rates, right? I think we can all agree with that. If you look it up, they have lowest COVID death, lowest COVID infections, right? So how are you doing them justice by then making a mandatory lockdown and say mandatory mask when for since this started back in some people are saying now December is when cases started coming over here. They've consistently been on the bottom when it comes to infection rate, when it comes to hospitalizations, when it comes to deaths. So unless you're willing to look at, and that's one thing that I give Donald Trump praise for, is because he lets states handle states, because that's the way we're a republic in general. That's how
I get that.
to work. So letting the states then make the laws for them states, because it's that goes back like to the argument of federal what is that, like federal minimum wage. Like a person in South Dakota can't afford to give somebody $15 an hour when that's not that's not a state where it's feasible. You see what I'm saying?
So I know we have to end, so I want everybody to have a closing remark.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry if I cut you
because
off.
at the time we're just going. I think we need to do the show, but I would like Tiff Co.
Let me just, I want to just stop it for 1 second, just to say the whole issue here is we're going with red, we're going with blue. Okay. I think we've forgotten that we are all human here. Okay.
Yeah.
And if we take it from the aspect of us all being human, we can get a lot more done. And they have us all in limbo right now because we're saying he may be the president. No, let's start saying that Biden is the president, because right now they have us all in limbo. Okay. So if we start saying Biden is the president, he will be the president. Okay. Then by doing that, what happens is we call that into existence. Okay. And also what Kamala said, okay, which was a huge statement, which I may be the first, but I won't be the last. To me, that was a major statement, because as people, what we do is everybody's fighting to be the head. Okay, so one don't want to listen to the other. This one don't want to listen to the other. The Republicans, the blue, everybody's got their own opinions, and nobody wants to come together. In order for us to work, we all have to come together and listen to each other. So everybody's fighting for power and wants to be the head, but nobody wants to pull together, and that's our issue.
And you need a whole body.
Exactly. And if you listen to what Kamala said, if you take someone and you train them and you listen, you can have a whole nother generation. So because of what I know, let me train the next one, because I don't want that. I don't want to be the last. I want to bring that person in. And I think if we start working together a little bit more, we would go further. But what it is that everybody wants to be the head. So this state wants to do their thing, and this state wants to do their thing, and this state wants to do their thing. But what's going to bring it all together so that we can work? Because in the end, everybody is human. So I'm not understanding.
I want to say this has been power. It's been power. The Tiffany Rowe Show is power. And we give, again, the opportunity to hear. I would definitely say one of the things Chris said, you in order to be a full body, you gotta have your extremities, as like Tiff said. And with that being said, with Biden going into that position, bringing in the right people around him that are not so much of the establishment, I think maybe that's the bridge.
Yes.
To bring different scenarios. You got it, because you can't negate, and I think that's what seemingly I have to even say with Trump. You can't negate the other half of the country that did not vote for you. So if this is the case, you have to have people around you that's not going to agree with your concepts, but you got to hear their concepts and come somewhere to it.
Yes.
Because I need my people that are voted for him because there's too many, and we're all bodies,
of
for me, the Most High, and I need my bodies that voted for Biden, and I need us to be this passionate about our neighbors, about love amongst our neighbors, not so much passionate about somebody that's going to live in a house you're never going to get able to see the master bedroom in. So I want to thank you both for coming on today, and thank you for your transparency, and thank you for knowing that it's a safe space to share. And you both are amazing. Christopher, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ladies. I appreciate it.
And again, happy Veterans Day. And Tiffany Cole,
so
my girl Tiffany Cole, sistership. Don't forget, check her out on GenesisRadio.com. That's GY, okay, not GE, GY, GenesisRadio.com. This your girl TiffanieRo.info. Like I told y'all before, I don't care who you vote for. You vote red, you vote blue. I'm still your friend. But if you pick another real estate broker, you're dead to me. All right? Love you. It's your girl, Tiffany Road.
And listening to the sistership.
And the sistership.
The best of edutainment.
TiffanieRo.info.
TiffanieRo.info.
I'm Tiffany Rowe.
TiffanieRo.info.
The best in edutainment.